MacVoices is sponsored by Smile, the makers of world-class software like PDF Pen. Find out about all their great utilities at smilesoftware.com. MacVoices is in Las Vegas for NAB. I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, I stopped by the Monoprice booth to get a couple problems of my own solved, and there was so much cool gear here that I wanted to show some of it to you. This is Manny of Monoprice, and he's going to walk us through just a few of the things they're showing here, but I'm quickly learning that if I have a problem, Monoprice probably should be one of my first stops to try to solve it. Manny, it's great to see you.
It's great to see you too, Chuck.
Thank you for, first of all, you solved my problems. We're not going to get into what they were, but there were some cool things here that I think people should be aware of that are actually out there, and they're more affordable than you might think.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the first things that we want to show you is our SlimRun AV HDR HDMI cable. So, sorry for the long name. Yeah. But ultimately, these are innovative long-length HDMI cables over fiber technology. These cables offer a conversion of electrical copper transmission into an optical solution that allows you to go up to 100 meters. They support 4K, 60 hertz, up to 18 gigabits per second, and they're fully compliant with our current HDMI 2.0 and HDCP 2.2 standards. These are very lightweight, they're very innovative, and they're a quick solution for a lot of problems for long-distance HDMI transmission.
And they come in various lengths, so it's not something I adjust or cut. I buy it from you at the length I need.
Yeah, absolutely. The lengths start at 20 feet, and they run all the way up to 330 feet, depending on your application.
Got it. Okay, that's great. There's also an optical, not an optical version of that, but an optical HDMI cable that you're showing.
Yeah, so that was one of our optical HDMI cables.
That's optical too, okay.
And then we also offer in a new form factor. New form factor being where we're able to offer modular connectors, where you can essentially convert or change the connector from a micro HDMI connector to a standard A-style connector, or you can change the connector and have a DVI connector on the fly. Ultimately, this smaller form factor connector allows you to be able to run through a conduit, run through walls or tight spaces without having to worry about managing the larger sized HDMI Type A connector.
And that's really nice. You know, I know people are going to say, you're talking cables. How exciting can this be? Yeah, if you've tried to run cables or do anything, and especially HDMI cables that typically are kind of thick, these are some amazing solutions.
Yeah, absolutely. Traditional HDMI cables in the past, especially for medium lengths like 50 feet or even 60 feet, have been made of extra large 22 gauge cables. These are essentially the equivalent of a 36 gauge cable. Granted, there's no copper being used in the transmission of the protocol, but it's essentially about the same size as a 36 gauge cable. So it's ultra thin, it's very lightweight, and it makes running the cable and pulling the cable that much easier.
Now, we're talking about HDMI cables, and there's a lot of talk right now about all the new capabilities of the new TV sets, the HDR, the Dolby, and all that. How do these, what kind of certifications do these have to have me assured that I'm able to transmit the best, at least at the moment, that is out there?
So Monoprice participates in HDMI's certified cable program, and with that said, we offer 2 lines of cables that are certified by HDMI that feature HDMI's holographic label on the cables themselves that certify that these cables are going to be completely compliant to all HDMI standards, including HDR, Dolby Vision, including really any other format assigned by HDMI.org. As part of those solutions, we have an ultra slim HDMI solution, which is ultimately designed to be a complete disruptor within this space. So other manufacturers and other cable vendors have gone and certified their cables and priced their cables to be at a very high premium. Monoprice took a different approach, and we've been offering these high-level certified HDMI cables at ultra-low prices. Our ultra-slim HDMI cable line starts at a cost of around $3. So it's a very, very, very different line from what you might be familiar with paying either $20 or $30 from any other vendor or manufacturer.
And it's hard for people to believe that. They think, okay, there's got to be a catch, but there isn't. I mean, the certification is the certification.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You don't have to take our word for it, but ultimately you're taking HDMI's word for it at this point. So it's really one of those examples of where we're able to provide the same quality product at ultimately a better price.
Perfect. There were also there was a video wall controller back here and some other things that I found. I'm familiar with devices that do those things. I was not familiar with the price point that you're doing them at.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've also launched I'm calling it a portable video wall controller just really because of its size. We're used to seeing video wall controllers in devices in sizes where they're either 1U or 2U rack sizes. So this is designed to be able to fit for a video wall cart or some type of temporary video wall solution where you may not necessarily have a dedicated closet or rack to be able to install a video wall controller. This simple controller has either a HDMI video input. It also has a built-in media player, so you can play either JPEG files or MPEG video files automatically on your video wall. It's very simple to use. Each output is assigned to a TV, and then you have a simple remote control in which you're able to assign the outputs and set the format for the video wall. It has a really nice integrated graphic user interface, which allows you to be able to make all the adjustments on the fly, so you can make sure that your video wall looks good. And it's at a very affordable price point of around $600.
Yeah, and that's impressive for a video wall controller.
Yeah, you're normally used to paying anywhere between $1,000 to even $1,500 for normal entry-level video wall controllers, or you have to stick to a dedicated computer with multiple video cards to be able to do the same function.
The other piece we had that caught my eye, we just talked about a video wall controller where you have multiple monitors, but you also have the ability to put multiple input sources on one screen very affordably.
Yes, absolutely. And this is essentially the inverse. Now we're looking at a MultiView. This is a simple pocket-sized MultiView system where you have 4 inputs and you have a single output. And that output can essentially MultiView and put all 4 of those separate sources onto a single display. It's a very powerful tool to have when you're either setting up a system and you need to make sure that all your sources are working properly with a single display. It has a multitude of different uses. The form factor for this unit is very, very important. At a $150 price point, it's small enough for you to be able to carry in your notebook bag, carry it with your backpack. It's really one of those devices that you want to have with you for any live event or for any integration or setups.
Yeah, I really am intrigued by that one because at $150, it's not quite an impulse buy, but it's pretty close to it just to have the capability, even if you're just putting 2 sources up on a monitor.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So it's a very powerful tool that you can use at any moment.
Now, those are just a few of the really interesting things that you're showing here, and Monoprice has a lot of them. How do we go about figuring out just how much you all have? Just come to the website and start doing searching for what we need?
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Visiting us at monoprice.com, you'd be able to find over 5,500 different Monoprice products across our different lines and categories. But particularly, we have a really nice landing page within the audio-video side of Monoprice. You can find it on our homepage just by going to monoprice.com.
Manny, thanks so much for the time. Very cool stuff. Really appreciate it, and thanks for solving my problem.
Thanks for stopping by, Chuck.
Folks, we'll have more from NAB in Las Vegas. I'm Chuck Joyner. This is MacVoices. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our MacVoices Facebook group and get more out of your Apple Tech with MacVoices magazine, free on Flipboard. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us at patreon.com/MacVoices and join these folks who help keep MacVoices coming to you. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CashFly at cashfly.com.